Back again. All right, we've now been joined by Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 4 Jimmy John's Budweiser Chevrolet, who will start second in Sunday's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race here at Auto Club Speedway. And Kevin, you were with us earlier today, and you just talked about the success of the team and the momentum that you have, and obviously a second-place qualifying effort today will continue that into the weekend.
Yeah, just really proud of everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing to see the 41 and 4 cars on the front row. Really happy for Kurt and Tony Gibson and all those guys with everything that they've gone through. Really proud of my guys for making good change. We never really even made a lap in practice that wasn't impeded by something going wrong. And then, I thought we had a lap that was pretty good through 1 and 2, great coming to the green, and just there was 3 cars on the apron where I wanted to run coming to the checkered and wound up having to run the middle of the track. But still a good lap, and we'll definitely take a front row start.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Kevin. Please state your name and affiliation, and we'll start with Wolfgang.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany Rennsport Press Agency. Kevin, congratulations first. You and Kurt sharing the front row. How identical is your setup?
I haven't looked at a setup in weeks. I can't even tell you what springs, shocks, sway bars. I have no idea, to be honest with you. We settled in on what we thought our package was about halfway through last year, and those guys fine-tune it to loose or tight. If we're off, then we'll stop and regroup. But yeah, I hadn't looked at anybody else's setups in a long time.
Lee, go ahead.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Kevin, you were in here earlier and you talked about the biggest timeout you've really had was when you were a kid, and I guess your dad took you off the basketball court.
I thought about that, and I got a timeout back in '02 when I got thrown out.
Martinsville.
That's right, Martinsville. But we did cook hot dogs and eat hamburgers that day, so it was more or less a camping trip.
But anyway, can you relate to what it felt like, say, for Kurt Busch or HA or any of these guys that have had to be out of their cars for whatever reason, what it's like to be sidelined and how driven they are to come back? Because Kurt seems like a man possessed to prove that he, belongs here and wants to do well.
Yeah, I really can't relate to any of those guys just for the fact that there's a lot of things that I've never been through from everything that they went through. So, I know when things aren't going good or, you think you should be running better and you're determined to get back to where you want to be. You work hard, but, it'd be hard to relate from those particular instances.
All right, go ahead, Kay.
Kevin, Kay Presto, Cars and Competition. I heard talk about tailwinds and headwinds today. How much did that affect the cars, if at all?
Honestly, I didn't even look. Looks like it's blowing towards turn 2, so I would say that they should be tighter down there, but it didn't really seem to affect it. Maybe I should pay attention to more stuff that's going on, but Rodney and those guys keep everybody pretty well informed.
All right, if we can get the mic to Jeff, please.
Jeff Clark from USA Today. Last year, at times, it seemed like there was you and then there was the rest of the SHR cars. Since Kurt's been back already, he's been pretty fast. And now today, it seems like you guys have somebody to run with this year at SHR. What does that say about the team?
Well, that's really good for, especially for our 2 cars. And it's really good for everybody at the organization to know that, both sides of the shop are producing similar cars. And if you look back at the end of last year with Gibson and Kurt, when they ran those last few races, they qualified well, they raced fairly well, finished races, and were, had a good foundation to go into this year. And obviously, everything happened at the beginning of this year. It's just taken a little bit longer to showcase exactly what they had. So it's exciting for the company just for the fact that, I know there's been a lot of talk about, the 41 and the 4 and the 10, and, all the different teams and how they're running. But, having the 41 run good the last 2 weeks with Kurt back is good for everybody at SHR.
What's the, I'm sorry, I don't know. Which cars are on which side of shop? Like you're paired with who? Or are your cars?
Yeah, the 4 and the 14 are together, and the 41 and the 10 are together. So that's a good sign for the whole company because everything is tried to be built as similar as possible from a fabrication standpoint in the body shop, and so that's a good sign that you can take them from both sides of the shop and do what you need to do.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Kevin, the tire compound is the same in the Xfinity and the Cup Garage this weekend. Running the Xfinity race tomorrow, does that help for an advantage on Sunday?
Well, this is definitely a rhythm racetrack, and this is definitely one that I would circle every time to run both days just for the fact that the seams are kind of tricky. It seems like there's going to be a ton of fall off in the tires. Those Xfinity cars had fallen off quite a bit, just in a matter of 10 laps. So I think when you look at the fall off and the things that you have going on at this particular track, I want to be in the race car just because there's so many bumps, there's so many seams, there's so many things that just have been sealed and patched and places you can slide into to have grip and not have grip. And the more laps that you can make, I believe the better off you're going to be. So especially when the tires, even if the tire was different, I'd probably still vote to race just for the fact that this is just such a technique, rhythm type of racetrack. Yep.
Go ahead.
Kevin Brian Belansky from RPM Radio Network. You said that you didn't pay attention to anything that's going on with the 41 car, and you didn't know where the wind was coming. When you're hot, is that the case? And when you're not, are you paying attention to all those things?
No, because that's something that Rodney and I talked about from the very beginning. We talk about a lot of things, but when we get to the racetrack, it's we've already made a lot of decisions. I feel like if we were off, we'd probably have to really pay attention to what we were doing, what we were changing. But it's been, we've developed such a good package that I feel comfortable with, and those guys know what I like in the simulation. They know the grip numbers and things that I like to feel at different types of racetracks. And we went through so many things last year. It's something to where these cars are so engineered now. All I'm going to do is screw them up. So from the beginning, I've not worried about what springs, shocks. I just try to be a source of information to those guys and remember things that worked at certain racetracks and think about what I'm doing as a driver and where the stuff that they're doing. They'll tell me what they're doing, and I can relate to previous racetracks that we've changed those types of things. And you try to just be a source of information because it's such a science project nowadays that putting 3 5s and a 2 in like you did back in 2001 is not going to work. So
during the streak, has the car been really just the way you wanted it off the truck every week?
No, and like I say, last week I think I heard Rodney say that we struggled a little bit off the truck to get the feel that you want because the tires have changed, and today we didn't really know what we had before qualifying because we hadn't made a complete lap yet, at full speed without something happening. The 19 wreck, the 5 was in front of us, so there was we made 3 laps and didn't really know, didn't finish any of them, so we didn't really know where we sat. So we made some good decisions with travels and I relayed what I felt in the car as far as what I felt with the splitter and grip, and we looked at past history and we go through a lot of notes, but when it comes to springs and shocks, there's no rhyme or reason in my mind how it even all works anymore. So I just try to be a source of information to push the engineers in the right direction.
All right. Any final questions for Kevin? All right. Kevin, congratulations on your second starting position, and good luck this weekend.